news update on top accolade news. The headlines. Canada sees record early turnout as election day nears. Markets rally as Trump heads its major easing of China tariffs. U.S. pulls top diplomat from Ukraine peace talks. Iran criticizes new U.S. sanctions. We start with the focus on politics. Canada sees record early turnout as election day nears. With a record-breaking 7.3 million Canadians casting ballot during the Easter weekend, early voting is surging ahead of the federal election on April 28th. That's nearly a quarter of all eligible voters, as long lines form at polling stations nationwide. The Liberals, now led by former central banker Mark Carney, hold a narrow lead over Conservative amid heated debates on the economy, housing and how to handle U.S. tariff. With a trade war and talk of Canada as the 51st state fueling tension, the final days of campaigning are expected to be intense. Turning to economy, markets rally as Trump hints its major easing of China tariffs. President Donald Trump has ruled out firing Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell despite recent public clashes, while signaling a major easing of tariff on China, a move that sent global markets surging. Trump, who returned to the White House in January, acknowledged that the 145% tariff on Chinese goods are very high and promised that they will be substantially reduced. The shift marks a possible thaw in U.S.-China trade tension as both sides signal openness to negotiations. Moving to international relations, U.S. pulls top diplomats from Ukraine peace talks. Hopes for renewed peace talk over Russia's war in Ukraine took a hit after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio pulled out of a major summit in London, prompting a downgrade of the meeting to lower-level discussions. The move highlights growing tension between Washington and Kyiv over a controversial U.S. proposal that could recognize Russia's control of Crimea in exchange for a ceasefire. Ukrainian President Zelensky has firmly rejected the idea, saying it violates the country's constitution. Meanwhile, deadly fighting has resumed, casting a shadow over the stalled diplomatic push as both sides remain far apart on key terms. Still in international relations, Iran criticizes new U.S. sanctions. Iran has slammed new U.S. sanctions on its energy sector, calling them a sign of Washington's lack of goodwill just days before nuclear talks are set to resume. The U.S. announced sanctions targeting an Iranian liquefied petroleum gas tycoon, part of its ongoing maximum pressure campaign aimed at crippling Tehran oil's export. Iran's foreign ministry condemned the move, saying it contradicts America's stated desire for dialogue. Despite tension, Iran's foreign minister says upcoming negotiation in Oman shows promise, though he remains cautiously optimistic about reaching a deal. You are watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In conflict, Gaza officials defend casualty data. In Gaza City, grief deepens as family continues to bury loved ones lost in the ongoing war. The toll of 18 months of conflict has surpassed 51,000 deaths, according to Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry, with a third of the victims under 18. While Israel disputes the figures, citing alleged propaganda, health officials in Gaza defend the data as part of a rigorous verification process, especially after the removal of over 3,000 names flagged as errors or duplications. With hospitals overwhelmed, cemeteries unreachable, the thousands still trapped under the rubble, Gaza's civilian toll continues to rise with no end in sight. Moving to disaster. Multiple hurts as vehicle hit pedestrians in eastern China. Panic unfolded outside a school in eastern China as a car plowed through a crowd of students and pedestrians, injuring multiple people, including children. The incident occurred as classes were ending, with bystanders rushing to help the injured. Authorities have yet to confirm whether it was an accident or a deliberate act. The event adds to a growing number of violent public attacks in China amid rising economic hardship and social tension, while government censors move quickly to control online discussions and limit information. Turning to entertainment. Irish rap trio under fire for pro-Palestinian message at Coachella. Tensions are rising after Sharon Osbourne called for Irish rap group Kneecap to have the U.S. work visas revoked following a politically charged performance at California's Coachella Music Festival. The trio concluded the set with pro-Palestinian messages, including criticism of Israel and U.S. foreign policy, sparking backlash from Osbourne and others who labeled the action as hate speech. Kneecap, known for their provocative lyrics and political stands, are facing mounting scrutiny ahead of planned U.S. and Canadian tour dates. The State Department said visa eligibility reviews are confidential, while Jewish organizations and UK officials have urged police investigation into past performances that appear to praise banned terrorist groups. Now in sports. Serie A matches rescheduled following Pope Francis' funeral in Rome. In Italy, Serie A has rescheduled its Saturday fixtures in respect of Pope Francis' funeral, which will take place in Rome's St. Peter's Square. The league confirmed all three matches, including Inter Milan's high-profile clash with AS Roma, will now be played on Sunday, with kickoff at 3 p.m. local time. Lazio's home tie against Parma has now been moved to Monday night, while Como vs Genoa will kick off Sunday at 12:30 p.m. The adjustments follow a call from Italy's National Olympic Committee to suspend Saturday's sporting events honoring the passing of the first Latin American Pope, who died on Monday at the age of 88. That concludes our global news updates for today. Stay tuned for more global news and development. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojorome Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.